Okay, so we are here, we are ready, and I just want to share a few things today. Before I get started, I'm just gonna hit the record button. Amazing. So, first and foremost, I just want to say amazing to have you, amazing to see you, amazing to express with you. Today, as you get into your day, as you expand on new speakers, on meeting new people, as you know, connecting today and for the rest of your days, I really want to encourage you that there is so much to life, right? That is inundated from an external perspective to really curate a language, a philosophy, a lifestyle that is somehow projected onto us. And today I want to challenge that. I want to challenge that within you. I want to challenge that in the way that you show up. I want to challenge that in all of your belief systems in the way that, hey, it actually comes from a deep internal state. That your outside world, there was a reflection of your inside world. Your experience throughout the today is going to be by you influencing yourself to be attentive, to be here, to be present. And what kind of state are you going to give to your life? What kind of meaning are you going to create in the way that you show up today? And so, why is this important? Because you're going to be here listening and you're going to be curious, you're going to have questions in life and today and for the rest of your days, whether you apply it to all other experiences, knowing that you are the one that has the influence on yourself first is actually the most beautiful thing. And you don't need to be an influencer to have influence. You just need to have influence on yourself. And if these values and principles that drive you can be the ones that define you, that will be enough to allow you to know that, hey, that you have something unique to give in this world, that you have something that uniquely can be expanded upon in your expression, whether it's in your business, in your family relationships, in your business relationships, and ultimately in your self relationship. So I would love to today take you through a little bit of a process that might encourage you to be a little bit more aware of the frequency of where you're at. And so you can take more of a responsible, active role in participation when you are more curious about the speakers or what they're having to, really share with you. So a few things, and we oftentimes have cultivated this different um, emotional states or meanings of life or focused patterns of expression of forces to discern our own navigational skills of the way that we actually want to receive information, but also how are we listening to the information as it's coming in. And so today I want to speak a little bit about the importance of your own state, your own ability to really manage your meaning around you. And why is this important today? Well, because for me, as you're able to encourage yourself, as you're able to really identify that the source of your emotional intelligence comes from a source or a spirit that's within you, it really comes from what they call the triad, right? And some people call it the triad, other people call it, the triangle, but like it really doesn't matter. The essence comes from three important factors, and they're the forces inside of you. So how are you in your behaviors, in your movement, in the way that you really are structuring yourself when you're listening or when you're speaking? So this is your physiology, this is your essence, your the way that you communicate by your body language, right? So your physiological understanding in the way that when you're listening, if you're like, listening like this, or if you're, really like curious, or if, you're relaxed, what is it that actually allows you to be extremely more aware of the person that's speaking to you. And so pay attention to that, because the body language actually speaks tons, right? This movement speaks tons. So having an awareness of how you speak when your back is, shouldered over, or your shoulders are straight up with absolute certainty, what's the change in the dynamic that is communicated to the people? And also listen to this, to how people are communicating or sharing their message with you, right? The speakers that come on, this is a very active part, because as you identify this behavior, this effect within yourself, you'll then start to identify it and understand it, that human emotional intelligence among another person. And this will create new desires, new needs, new results, and new recognize that you create the consequences around you. And so the second force here that I like to always describe is the pattern of focus. So this is where it comes down to your values, your beliefs, your identity, and what really is those principled factors of the way that you're going to actually show up. Because we oftentimes don't allow the focus of our principles, of our values, of our beliefs, like the deep-rooted ones, to guide us. Instead, we focus on what the external pattern of focus, and so we actually end up having no focus. And in this no focus, this vehicle actually allows you to get really scattered and uncertain, and it limits the certainty that you have from yourself, right? And so this behavior starts to emerge, where if you actually aren't focused on your values, aren't focused on identifying your belief systems, you have global beliefs that maybe have been projected to you and not have really, they're distorted because they're distorted because they're generalized, or because it's only one map of the world, it's one map of awareness, then it doesn't give you the awareness to say, hey, I'm going to ask better questions, which leads me to the third pattern, the language, the learning, the meaning that you give from questions and metaphors. And how are you showing up, by your affirmations, by the way that you speak to yourself. And so today, when you're listening and you're paying attention to what your that little voice inside of you is saying, or to what the speakers are saying, ask yourself questions. Ask yourself, am I coming from some sort of limitation, right? Am I focusing on some sort of expansion or limitation? Am I in scarcity or abundance? Am I willing to actively listening or passively listening? And this will create an effective behavioral shift in the vehicle, in the body, right, which is the vehicle, to allow you to really cultivate a new result from by retaining this information. And this is why this is so important, because our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, our actions, our results, all of these things is all about how we carry ourselves. So by merging all of these three forces, by merging our physiology, by merging our focus, by merging our language, we create a new meaning in our life. And this new meaning allows us to really cultivate true change in the way that we show up for each other. Because it's in these type of expressions, it's in these type of events, it's in these type of scenarios that we actually get to show that we are truly curious about each other. And so I get really excited about these type of expressions or these type of events, because yes, I can teach you about these patterns of focus, but there's going to be these things as we go through them, right? There's going to be way other individuals that you can actually apply this to, right? So the application of it actually, yes, we're learning about it, about the importance of it, but it's in the application of it that you actually get to learn it, because there's three levels of mastery. There's the cognitive, right? The part where you're learning about it right now. You're really focused on like, okay, how am I gonna learn how to, okay, my physiology, I gotta really focus. I gotta make sure it's good. I gotta like get back into my state of like, okay, what's the focus that I'm gonna give? So I'm gonna be an open mind. I'm gonna take away the limiting behaviors. I'm going to take away the limiting belief systems. I'm going to decide that I'm going to use powerful language today to empower myself, to empowering belief systems, so that I can drive a behavior that is super open-minded, super active in the participation, and super aware of the information that's coming to me, because I'm listening and I'm asking the right questions from a place of openness, from a place of empowerment, from a place of belief, rather than focusing on all the things that may have been told to me in the past, where there's never or lack thereof of some sort of love or something, you know. And so this is an important responsibility that I urge you to take on today, that I challenge you to take on today, because it's in this challenge of influence, it's in this challenge of dynamic, it's in this challenge of stepping into this role, that you're going to allow yourself to really bring your best version forward. That you're going to allow yourself to not just bring your best version forward, but you're going to allow yourself to really cultivate and navigate your own awareness and the awareness of every single different individual that you come into contact with over the next, day, week, month, year, lifetime, if you apply it just right now. Because a great teacher of mine says repetition is the mother of skill. And if you repeat these patterns of awareness, right, you can start setting new intentions, right? And when you set these new intentions on each area of your life, because the way that you often do one thing is the way that you do multiple other things, you can then focus your attention on really believing that this level of influence and what you want to determine, what you want to achieve, that what you want to change will allow you to step into that every single day. And you start to really bring this new level of generosity. It's this new level of conditioning, this new level of empowerment that allows you to understand that, hey, not just today by listening to all these speakers or having the right questions and by putting myself into a state of awareness, am I going to influence myself? But I'm actually going to do that in so many different areas as a result of doing it today, that is going to build a pattern of belief in me as an individual to walk into any situation and create certainty. And this is one of the most beautiful experiences that you can have, because it's the environment that you step into that allows you to really cultivate who you are. And if you know who you are, then you get to express and share that brilliance with everyone around you. Because you are so in your center, you're so in alignment, that you now are dedicated to allowing what's within you to come out of you. And by holding a space of absolute certainty and knowing that you are cultivating a presence that is so meaningful, you empower others to do the same. You empower others to step into their own internal behaviors. You step into a new culture behavior. You step into a new dynamic that changes the culture, the community, the essence, the integrity of everybody inside of that space. So today, going back, ask yourself, am I going to be influenced enough about getting out of my mind and just really being in the mental space of being here and now, right? Am I focused on some concerns or limiting behaviors for our time together, for our time with these different amazing individuals that are going to be coming on? And when is the first time that I maybe had this feeling that I wasn't sure or I wasn't certain, or have I gone through enough like uncertainty that I'm ready to step into this new space, that I'm actually ready to create certainty, to create my own certainty. And if you think about these moments, right, this old story that may have been played in your mind in the past of these uncertainties. Ask yourself, have I been giving that a meaning and holding on to that meaning? And what was my state of, my physiology, my force of physiology? How did I move? How did I act? How did I behave? Was I in a state of absolute like excitement, or was I really just like, oh, I'm gonna figure this out? Or was I in a place where I was really asking the right questions so that I could expand on a belief system? Or was I making statements that would limit my belief system? And you see, I always say it's so beautiful to be a curious individual. It's absolutely beautiful to be curious in your lifestyle. And if you're curious, you start to learn, you start to create wisdom, you start to identify with that wisdom. And this is an area of responsibility, because I mentioned, like, there's 3 focal points, right? Of cognitive understanding. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to understand it. I'm going to try to get it, like, in my emotional cognitive understanding. There's then the second stage, which is emotional. So how am I going to listen to the emotional intelligence within me to really apply that cognitive awareness to my emotional awareness? And then the third, which is really how you get to show up, is by creating a massive change in your body, by physically being that process. So today, as you take in all the cognitive theories, pay attention to your body, make sure that you're fully aware, you're fully present. Pay attention to your openness, the way that you're willing to pay attention to the focus, the language, and really, most importantly, as a result of being cognitively applying yourself, emotionally applying yourself, you'll be able to come out from this experience, from this, journey, and apply it into your physical life. Taking the time to really physically apply each and every one of these experiences, or each and every one of these tools and transformation to your own business, so that it can change not just your business, because at the end of the day, business is a spiritual journey, right? But we get to apply it to your 3D world, to your reality, to help your family, to help your community, to really change the dynamics of the culture and the organization, and how you get to really shift. Because it's from this place, it's from this courage, it's from this approach that you'll be able to step up to a new paradigm, to a new possibility, to a new creative expression that is already inside of you, that it's always been there, right? But today, you get to take time to apply it. So I just want to say, go out there, or be there, and just trust in yourself. If anything else today, just trust into this internal feeling that is calling you to a greater step up, to a step into your true self, your true identity, the identity that always has been there. But perhaps you just haven't listened to it. And today, maybe take the time to listen to your own behaviors within you. Listen to the way that your body speaks to you. Listen to the way that you're willing to really communicate and hear the individuals that are on here today. And it's in this listening that you will develop a new paradigm. It's in this listening that will allow you to cultivate an awareness that you've always already believed in. You just didn't know. It's one of the most ancient things we all have, right? Now it's just about really using your beautiful tools, the tools that are within you, to your most advantageous way of amplifying this massive level of influence that you already are. Let's just bring it to the next stage. Let's just bring it to the next stage and really magnify what you're here to create. Because as a result, you'll create this own economy, you'll cultivate your own community, you'll magnify yourself into the world, and you'll do it with a co-elevated group, a co-creative group that really wants to do it alongside you, that really wants to amplify and grow and create and make magic. And we get to then do that with your ultimate level of value and principles is like, how do we leave each scenario, each expression, each environment better than when we found it? And if we do that with our businesses, with our communities, with our cultures, with our organizations, we empower everybody around us to step up to that same paradigm. And how will we then leave this generation better than when we found it? And what will our children do as a result of us stepping up to the podium, us stepping up to bat and saying, we'll take responsibility, we'll take the influence, we'll do what we need to together. I hope you guys have nothing but of an amazing experience. And please know that I'm always here for you guys. My name is Eric Balance. You are welcome to connect with me wherever you are. And I wish you nothing but a transformational experience. And I look forward to welcoming you to multiple other summits, experiences, massive transformations, and hopefully at one point, you'll be able to come to one of mine where we get to transform and go really deep. I love you guys. Have an amazing experience. Big love.